let's start new chapter, which is lines and angles. You must have studied about the lines and you already know about the angles, acute angle, obtuse angle. Now this year we are going to learn the properties related to lines and angles when we combine them, right? So first of all, before we move on to the core idea of the chapter, let's learn about the basics of this line. First of all, let's start with the line, then we'll discuss about the different angles as well, then we'll talk about the combination of it. So first of all, let's start point. Point we know very well, we learn in the introduction to Euclid's geometry. No length, no breadth, nothing, right? Just a point, that is the point. Next is about the line. Line, remember this few difference between line, ray and line segment. We keep using it, but still we don't know clear idea about the line, ray and line segment. Line is what? Which can be extended on both of the sides infinitely. You can take left side as much as you want to move and right side as well. That is the line. You can keep extending. There is no end to the line, right? In case of ray, ray is what? There is a one point and there is another part which keep extending it, right? So ray is made up of two things. One point which we call origin. From that ray is coming out. We say sun rays, right? The rays are coming from the sun and it keep extending to how far it can reach. So ray is about that. One end is infinite, right? It will keep extending, and another is the origin, right? So origin, and it will keep moving in this direction. It cannot go in that direction, right? If it is moving in that direction. Sun rays is again the best example of the rays. Then line segment. Let's say you want to cut a piece from the line, specific, right? Let's say 5 centimeter, 10 centimeter, 1 meter. That part is called as the line segment. You cut a piece from the line, specific amount of it, right? Now the ends of the line segments are always point. Point here at the starting of it and at the end as well. Both sides there will be point because we are cutting a piece of the line, right? Specific amount of it, right? So line, it will keep extending on the both of the side. Ray, it has origin as the point and it will keep extending on the one side. Line segment is the piece of the line of specific length, right? There is no specific length for the line and the ray. You want to just draw it according to your need, you can extend it. So that is about the types of line, ray and line segment. Now come to the combination of line. Now when we talk about the combination of two line, let's 2 or 3 or depends, no worries. So there can be two cases, either intersecting line or either non-intersecting lines. Now intersecting lines means what? They are going to cross each other. We learn in the coordinate geometry, y-axis and x-axis, they do meet at origin. So that point is called intersecting point. They both axes intersect at that point, origin. So those lines are called as the intersecting line. This is also intersecting line, right? Non-intersecting line means what? They are not going to intersect with each other. They will remain independent. Let's take one example and try to decide that is it intersecting or non-intersecting. Just giving you an idea. So this is a line and this one as well. So what can we say that this line will be intersecting or non-intersecting? Remember, don't just go for the look, right? How does it look that it is non-intersecting? No, not like that. You are supposed to extend it. So let's see, wherever the angle is less than, right? We learned this in the Euclid's introduction to Euclid's geometry, right? Wherever side the sum of the angle is less than 180, right? That side it is going to intersect. Okay, so this is the intersecting point. So these lines are intersecting lines, even though it looks as non-intersecting. Remember, non-intersecting lines are parallel, right? They are not going to tilt on any of the side at any cost. Railway track is the best example of it, right? So this is about the types of line. Either they intersect or either they don't intersect, means They are parallel. So what we discuss about the point, types of line, line, ray, line segment. Then when we combine two line or more than two, we are going to get cases, that is intersecting lines and non-intersecting lines. Now let's learn about the angles. Now let's start the discussion about the angles. Before we move on to the types of angles, let's learn the parts of the angle. We know very well, though let's recall one time. So any angle has two arms, right? So if we talk about this angle x, y, z, this is the one arm, right? And this is the another arm, that is called arm, and the point where they intersect is called vertex, and the space between them is called angle, right? So this is the angle between angle of x, y and z between two arms. This is the space. That space is called as the angle. Now let's learn about the different types of angle. First of all, let's start with the zero angle. Zero angle. Zero angle means, guess what? 0 degree only. So this is zero angle, right? 0 degree, you can say that. Next, we know if we, let's talk about the acute angle. Acute angle is acute angle. It lies between 0 to 90 degree, right? Now if I say that this is 90 degree, so this area is for the what? Acute angle. Zero angle, then space between 90 degree and zero angle will be what? Acute angle. Next, we know very well that is the right angle, right? Right angle, that is exactly 90 degree. So this is right angle, right? After right angle, we have what? Obtuse angle. So let's write obtuse angle here. Obtuse angle, that is what? More than 90 degree. So 90 degree less than x and less than 180. It is between 90 degree and 180 degree. So if we want to draw it, it will extend till here only, right? Okay, so this is the area for the acute angle, this is the area for the obtuse angle, and here it will be exactly 180 degree. Now there is a name for the 180 degree as well. What's that? That is straight angle. So let's write straight angle, that is 180 degree. So we can write here, this is straight angle, this is straight angle, right? After straight angle, now what this, if we just move on further than this, what do we call that angle? That is reflex angle. Remember, the name for that is reflex angle. So reflex angle is more than 180. It starts from 180 degree and ends before 360 degree, right? So if we want to show the reflex angle, we can start from here and we can continue, and this is for up to this point we can go, right? You don't need to touch exactly. This is a reflex angle, and finally we come back to the where we started from. That's called what? Complete angle. Now complete angle, the value of that is what? 360 degree, right? So we can mention 360, that is complete angle. Remember, right? So these are the different types of angles that we need to remember. 0, that is 0 degree only. 0 to 90 degree acute, 90 degree right angle, obtuse 90 to 180, 180 straight, 180 to 360 reflex, and 360 is the complete angle. This is just an idea. right? This area will give you the acute angle. Here you will be getting the angle which is obtuse. Here you will get the angle which is reflex, right? If you want to mention it, we can mention this is acute, we will get over here. Then for the obtuse, this is the, here we will get the obtuse, and the last is reflex, right? This complete area will get the reflex here, right? Means if you take any ray here, any ray here, or any ray over here, you will be getting, and remember, you need to start counting the angle. You need to put your protractor over this line and then will move over here, right? So if you stop before this 90 degree, that's what acute. If you stop before the 180 degree, that's obtuse. And if you stop before complete angle, that will be means after 180 and before 360, that will be the reflex angle. So remember, parts of the angle: two arms, one vertex. In the space between them is the angle. Types of angle: zero, acute, right, obtuse, straight, reflex, and complete angle. Just keep this chart in the mind. That's just for the purpose of understanding, right? So this is about the knowledge of lines and about the angles. Now let's learn different relation between the angles. When we have two angles, let's see what kind of angles we can, what kind of relation can we get. Now let's start a new topic, which is pair of angles. Now pair of angles means you have two angles. Now what are the possibilities and what are the observations that are very helpful to us? So first is complementary angle. Okay, before we discuss, let's talk about, we have two angles and whose values are, let's say, 45 degree, here 45 degree, and another as well 45 degree. Let's say 45 degree here as well. So if we add these two angles, observe, if we add this two angle 45 degree plus another angle which is also 45 degree, so we are going to get what, right? That's very simple, 90 degree, right? So kind of pair of angles that if we add up and we get answer 90 degree, that pair of angle is called complementary angles, right? We are adding these two angles, and if we get answer as the 90 degree, that is called complementary angles. Very simple, you must be knowing this relation, but that's very helpful to us in this chapter as well again, right? Combination can be different as well. Let's say you can have combination of 30 degree plus 60 degree, that will also give you 90 degree, right? So these two angles are complementary, right? The idea behind that, if you add up two angles, that should be 90 degree, and those angles are called as complementary angles. Now it's not compulsory that those angles should be like the adjacent angles, right? You must be thinking adjacent means what? Neighboring angle, right? If I join these two arms, they will become the neighbor of each other, right? That is called adjacent angles. It's not compulsory, right? They need to be adjacent. They can be, no worries, but it's not compulsion that they need to be adjacent angles, right? One angle can be somewhere here, another can be there as well, and if we add those value, we get 90 degree. Yes, they are complementary angles. Similarly, if we add up, let's say two angles, first of all, let's say here it is 120 degree, and here let's say 60 degree, right? So if we add them up, 60 degree plus 120 degree is equal to, let's say, you are going to get, very simple it is, right? That is 180 degree. So if we add two angles and if we get 180 degree as the answer, that is called supplementary angle. 90 degree for complementary and 180 degree for the supplementary angles. Again, here the same observation, those angles need not to be adjacent angles, right? They can be separate angles, right? That is supplementary angle. 90 degree complementary, 180 degree supplementary. Now, one more pair of interesting angle is linear pair. Let's take this same number here. Let's say 100 degree here, change it, and 80 degree over here, right? So if we add them, 80 degree plus 100 degree, that is 180 degree. So is it supplementary angle? Generally, the difference between linear pair and supplementary angle is that linear pair is always adjacent. They always need to be adjacent. But supplementary, there is no any compulsion, right? They can be or they cannot be, right? Most of the time they are not, right? But in case of linear pair, it's compulsory. They need to be neighbor of each other. They should be have at least one arm common. They are neighbor of each other. Always. Linear pair is always neighbor of each other. Remember that. But supplementary, it is not. So this is the difference between supplementary angle and the linear pair. Remember. So we learned about three types of pair of angles. Complementary, if we add up, we get 90 degree. It is complementary angle. If we add two angles and we get 180 degree, that is supplementary. And linear pair, if we add up two angles, we are going to get what? 180 degree, and condition for that is it should be adjacent angles, right? So this is about the different cases of the pair of angles.